This week's Seder is Parshas Va'eschanan, and it includes within it the Ten Commandments and also the first paragraph of the Shema, which can be found in Devarim, Perek Vav, Pesukim, Daled to Tes. Shema is a central tenet of our belief. It is central to our lives. V'shach b'cha uvkumecha. We're supposed to say Shema when we lie down and when we get up. In fact, Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen Rabinowitz in Tzedek, section 8, tells us that the Talmud and Brachos likens the reading of the Shema at the right time with eating. Kriyas Shema dugmas achila laguf. This teaches us that what eating does for the body, reading the Shema does for the soul. It is our spiritual sustenance. Rabbi Boruch Leff, in his book Forever His Students, says, "We begin life with Shema. From our earliest days, our parents said it to us as they put us to sleep in our cribs. We were trained to say Shema as soon as we were able to speak, as per the law by the Rambam in Talmud Torah 1:6. We say it at least twice a day in our prayers, and at the end of our lives, we die with the Shema on our lips." Children say Shema with a baby boy the night before his bris milah on a nachtwacht. In fact, the first mitzvah that anybody has once they become bar or bas mitzvah is to read Kriyas Shema. As soon as it becomes night, that's the first mitzvah min HaTorah that we are obligated to do. The first line of Shema is in Kedusha, and we say it before the Torah is taken out of the Aron HaKodesh on Shabbos and Yom Tov. We also say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad at the conclusion of Ne'ilah on Yom Kippur. There are other times that Shema is said, which may be perhaps less well known. For example, the Kohen, when just before the troops go out to a battle, the Kohen speaks words of encouragement and includes within it the words of Shema. A conversion candidate has to say the words of Shema as it's a declaration of Kabbalas ol Malchus Shamayim, a person taking upon themselves the yoke of the mitzvahs. Dr. Lisa Aitken, in her book The Hidden Beauty of Shema, in the introduction, says the Shema literally accompanies us from cradle to grave. There's a famous singer called Yaakov Shweki, and he's got a song called Shema Yisrael, and I'll attach the link to it for those people who haven't heard it. And the song is based on a story which I have read on Torah.org, Parshas Teruma, written by Rabbi Mordechai Kamenetsky. And he says the following story. During World War II, many Jewish children were harbored in monasteries throughout Europe. At the end of the war, the Vaathat sent representatives to the monasteries to try and reclaim the orphan children back to Judaism. Many of the children who they found had been taken from their parents at a very young age, so they had very few recollection about their birthrights. There was a rabbi from Cincinnati, Ohio, called Rabbi Eliezer Silva, and he came to a monastery in Alsace-Lorraine region of France. And when he got there, the priests there were not so keen on letting him have access to the children, and they were like, "We don't have any Jewish children here. No." But Rabbi Silva did not give up. He said to the priest, "I would like to come this evening when the children are about to go to sleep." And the priest agreed. Rabbi Silva came back that evening with two others. As the children were lying in their bed, about to go to sleep, he entered the large dormitory where they were sleeping. And there he and his two aides sang together, Shema Yisrael. Unexpectedly, mid-sentence he stopped. Suddenly, from 6 beds in the room, the ending to that most powerful verse was resounded in almost unison, Hashem Echad. He turned to the priest and he said, "These are our children. We're going to take them." Those Jewish children were redeemed, placed in Jewish homes, and raised to live full Jewish lives. We have no idea the impact that a parent has saying Shema with their children, even though these children were separated from their parents all those years. In a Torah scroll, the letters of the last letter of the word Shema, the ayin, and the last letter of the word echad are enlarged. Because, according to the Talmud and Brachos, Yud Gimel Amud Beis, whoever lengthens the word echad is rewarded with long life. Because if the Resh and the Daled look quite similar, somebody might say Hashem Acher, Hashem is another, or is there is any other God apart from Hashem, who is one, which would be completely wrong to say. The Baal HaTurim tells us the letter ayin that's enlarged, and the letter dalet that's enlarged from the first and the last word of the sentence Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. The dalet enlarged is because lomar lecha, to teach you, shetamlichuhu b'shamayim u'va'aretz u'v'daled ruchos, that we should crown God as one and as our King in heaven on the four directions. Hashem is here, Hashem is there, Hashem's everywhere. And the ayin and the dalet together make up the word aid, because Hashem is witnessing for Bnei Israel, and we are witnessing that we believe Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Hashem is our God and Hashem is one. Harav Gedalia Shah tells us the word Echad, Hashem is one. And the same way that the different attributes of a ray of light, which are dispersed by a prism, we can see the different colours of the rainbow. It doesn't look like it's unity, it's one light. In fact, Hashem is Echad, Hashem is one light, it's pure white light. In Devarim, Vov, Vov, we read V'hoyu ha-Devarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavacha hayom al levavecha. These words that Hashem commanded us today shall be upon our hearts. What is the significance of the apparent redundancy in the word hayom? Rashi says, Lo yihiyu be'enecha kadigyut gema. It shouldn't, yeshana, that the laws of the Torah and the Shema itself should not be in your eyes as some outdated dogma which no one cares about. Ela kachadasha shehakol rotzin likrosa. But we should be enthusiastic about the Shema and about the Torah and the mitzvahs as if it was just given to us, like as if the laws of the Torah were given to us today. So this week, as we've got the Aseret HaDibros and we've got the Shema, we should think to ourselves, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, how central the Shema is in our lives, and never should we think it's old and stale. It should be refreshing and refreshed every single day. Have a great week. B'Shabbos.